everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to film my January book haul, and honestly I was still trying to only buy half as many books as I read, but didn't work out this month because I got some more books. Because I ended up buying 6 books, and technically I should have bought like 1.5, but who's counting? Anyways, the majority of these books are either adult or YA fantasy because the mood hit me. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about the books. So the first book we have is Age of Myth by Michael J. Sullivan, and this is book 1 in the series called Legends of the First Empire. And there's obviously a very, very magnificent tree in this one. Since time immemorial, humans have worshipped the gods called Frey, truly a race apart, invincible in battle, masters of magic, and seemingly immortal. But when a god falls to a human blade, the balance of power between humans and those they thought were gods changes forever. Now only a few stand between humankind and annihilation. Wraith, a reluctant to embrace his destiny as the god killer, Suri, a young seer burdened by signs of impending doom, and Persephone, who must overcome personal tragedy to lead her people. The age of myth is over. The time of rebellion has begun. So, honestly, love all of the books that involves gods because I like mythology, even if it's made up. So, sue me. I don't care. We have an author I wanted to check out for a while, but this is The Pariah by Anthony Ryan. And it's blurbed by John Gwynne. I don't know if you can see that, but he's definitely one of my favorite adult fantasy authors. One of my favorite authors of all time, I would say. So if you blurbed it, it's gonna be good. So basically all it says on the back is, when the task is a killing, be quick and make sure of it. Torment is an indulgence. Save it for only the most deserving. Then, of course, we have The Shadow of Gods by John Gwynne. I had previously ordered this like a year ago, I don't know, but it was sold out, so I only got my hands on the second book. So now I finally have the first book in my hands because I only have 1 book left in the John Gwynne series that I'm currently reading, so I mean, need to be prepared. This is the same publisher, which is Orbit, but it's still a lot smaller than the other copies I have, so bummed about that, but what can you do? So yeah, I don't really know a lot about this one. It's a little bit fun though. This is blurred by John Gwynne, and this one is blurred by Anthony Ryan. Do you see a pattern here? Anyways, I don't really know much about this series. It's supposed to be like sort of inspired by Norse mythology. There's supposed to be dragons and stuff, and that's basically all I know. But I know that John Gwynne can write a freaking fantasy book with likable characters you will absolutely freaking despise, characters that are sort of in the gray zone where you can't really decide what you feel about them, and as always, some really kick-ass freaking characters, both female and male, and I'm here for it. And like I said, I love mythology, so this is gonna be good. And then we have Of Blood and Fire by Ryan Cahill, and this is book 1 in The Bound and the Broken. So this is a very sturdy paperback, so I feel like it's gonna be unpleasant to read. I don't know. Basically, it's take place in this land called Etheria, if I'm pronouncing that right. And it's a land that is sort of divided by war and mistrust, and there are some high lords that are supposed to rule the country, and we have the high lords of the south who only like squabble and fight. They're only kept in check by the Dragon Guard, who are traitors of time long past, who serve the Empire of the North. So basically, in a very remote village in southern Etheria, we follow the character Kalen, and he is still reeling from the loss of his brother, but he is preparing himself for the Proving, which basically is a test that is supposed to show how much to test your courage and skill, and not all people survive this test. And then one night, 3 strangers arrive in the Kalen city, and shit goes awry, and so all of a sudden Kalen is sort of thrust into this ongoing war that has been going on for centuries. So it sounds pretty cool. I'm looking forward to reading it. And then we have a book that is quite interesting. Look at that cover though. I think this was supposed to be YA fantasy, but it has won a shitload of awards and been nominated for a lot of them. But this is Ascendant by Michael R. Miller. This is book 1 in Songs of the Chaos. We meet our main character Holt, and his plan was never to become a dragon rider. He's always served the order hall of the Craig dutifully, and it's his job to, you know, keep pots and pans clean. But one day he discovers this sort of dark secret, and that is basically that dragons does not tolerate weakness among their kin, so they basically, you know, kill them off while they're young. So Holt actually takes pity on this blind dragon that has been born, and he saves the dragon and vows to protect it with, you know, his life. But then the scourge is rising, which basically means that undead hordes roam the land and, you know, kill people and stuff like that and being slaughtered. And Holt basically only has one chance of survival, and that is he must cultivate the mysterious power of his dragon's magical core. So it sounds really kick-ass. Never read a book about the blind dragon, but I'm pretty sure a dragon is still a dragon, meaning kick-ass. So yeah. Now we've come to the last book, which is sort of a YA fantasy sci-fi, mostly sci-fi I'd say. But this is Mindwalker by Kate Dillon. In this one we meet 18-year-old Syl Sarah, and she's determined to die a legend. But with only 12 months left before the supercomputer grafted to her brain kills her, her time is quickly running out. So for the last 10 years, she has been working as the sort of field agent for this company called the Syntax Corporation. And by commandeering their minds from afar and leading them to safety, Syl has not lost a single life, and she's not about to start now. But then a critical mission goes awry, and Syl is forced to flee from the very company she has once called home. And desperate to show that Syl is not a traitor, she actually ends up infiltrating the Analog Army, which is a sort of an activist faction working to bring the Syntax down. Her plan is to win back the company's trust by destroying the activist group from within. But instead, she and the army reckless leader Ryder uncover a horrifying truth that threatens to undo all of the good Syl's ever done for the company. And, you know, she has to save her friends and the world, you know? And loving the cover, honestly. But yeah, it sounds really cool. So we're looking forward to reading this one as well. So yeah, if you've read any of these books, please let me know down below what you thought about them, without spoiling of course. And I hope you have a nice day, and we'll see each other in the next one. Bye!